Cheating, Betrayal and Treason by and for narcissists, borderliners and other toxic people. Welcome to today's topic, ladies and gentlemen. I am Coach Tobias Forst, founder of Achilles Life Coaching, decade-long recipient of narcissistic abuse, and I've saved myself from it, and I accompany you on your journey to your personal freedom. Today we will discuss what the concepts of cheating, infidelity, betrayal and treason are perceived as for narcissists. What is treasonous and infidelicious? What is infidelity for narcissists and toxic people? And what those concepts mean to you, ladies and gentlemen, if, perpetrated, acted out by your toxic partner, the narcissist, the borderliner. So let's take a look at what betrayal, treason and cheating means for narcissists, borderliners and toxic people. Number one, it is your betrayal and treason if you are friendly with others. That might be the kiss on the cheek for greeting someone that you like. That might be, or will very likely be, the smile you're sharing with the waiter or the waitress. And good gosh, if there's even a bit of sympathy, you might actually know their first name because you're not the first time there at that venue. You must like them very much, don't you? No wonder they look so much better than your partner that's trying to reprimand you and play themselves down. Have you had intercourse with that person? But you sure want to, don't you? Questions like these arise. And all you wanted to do was be nice for a change. Well, not that it should be a rarity for you, but you catch my drift. Number two, what is treasonous and a betraying way of acting by you, according to the perspective of the narcissist. That is, if you refuse to remain an accomplice in them using others for personal gain. There might be the friend or the business partner, the acquaintance, whoever, in the picture, who you choose to approach after your toxic partner had a talk with them and had a request for them. And on your own, you approach this person, this third party, and say, my girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, whichever, or all of the above, I don't think they were quite honest with you, so I would very much understand if you pulled out from that deal, that you said no, that you would say no to that request. Just be mindful. I don't think this was completely honest with you. It is a betrayal and treason by you for the narcissist or borderliner if you are no longer enabling them. In cases where you no longer stand before them and protect them, protect their image by saying to other people, third parties, things like, he or she didn't mean it that way. There must have been some misunderstanding. I'm sure this can get cleaned up pretty quickly. You can clear the air pretty quickly. Number four, your betrayal and treason if you've had enough of their abuse. If you've had enough of being led to doubt yourself, of being diminished, gaslighted, manipulated, used to make a scene in front of everybody because of your supposed inadequacies. If you've had enough, you're a traitor and a betrayer. Number five, by Zeus, if you dare to be the one to end the relationship, You're the traitor and the treasonous one, the betrayer. How can you? Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, you and I, we are being objectified by narcissists, borderliners, and toxic people. We are there to serve functions and purposes. We are basically flesh-made smartphones. And we are not to say no. We are not to get wings and fly away, or legs and run away. Imagine what you would think about your smartphone. And you want to unlock it with your fingerprint, and the smartphone just displays, thanks for the thumbprint, dear. But no data usage today, and it shuts off. This is your refusal in comparison. This is you refusing to stay in the relationship. How can you dare, you object out there, me object, how can we choose to go away, to leave? There is a certain sense of entitlement toward you and me, toward us, that there is a right that we can be made use of, that we have to serve a function, functions, several ones. Functions like the external emotional regulation battery with a high tolerance for bogus word salad and invalidation. And you must be ready, ladies and gentlemen, to fulfill that function each and every time that they so deem necessary. Point number 5. Yeah, I already mentioned it, I think, if I remember correctly. You are the betrayer and the traitor if you choose to end the relationship, if you choose to leave. Point number 6. Everyone among you is the betrayer and traitor if you expose the true nature of that person. That can be in a setting where you just talk with them and point out their toxic behavior, their manipulation attempts here and there. It will be to no avail if you think about trying to change them. This will not happen. The only thing that can change for some, if they take responsibility, is for a few or some borderline affected people, if they go into therapy and by extension, in some cases, receive proper medication, then change to a degree seems to be possible. With narcissists, well, not so much. So now, coming to you, ladies and gentlemen, one more thing regarding cheating. What is cheating for a narcissist, for a borderliner? You are supposedly cheating. It doesn't even have to get as far as you having intimate relationships with somebody else. It might be the kiss on the cheek to the girl you've known for 5 years. It might be the smile that you're sharing with the guy that just brought the glasses of wine to your table. This is where cheating starts. Now coming to the major part number 2, the point number 2 of today's video. What is betrayal and treason toward you? Betrayal and treason, let's start with cheating first. Cheating to you, this can be covered very quickly. Standard definitions. It might start for some of you, many of you, whichever be the case, with kissing someone else and culminates in having intercourse with somebody else. Before that cheating happens, there are a few aspects that already constitute betrayal, disloyalty, and treason committed by the narcissist toward you. And it starts with lying, ladies and gentlemen. It is a betrayal and treason toward you if you're proactively being lied to by your supposed partner, and if you catch them in the lie, they try to verbally wiggle themselves out like a social eel, and if you nail the point and expose the lie, in most cases, you will hear that it's actually your fault because reasons. Betrayal and treason toward you continues with them trying to throw you under the bus in order to save their own so carefully constructed image to the outside. This is also a part where loyalty is sorely missed. There will be no loyalty displayed toward you. Number 3, disloyalty, betrayal, treason toward you. Once the smear campaign starts, where you are the one being illustrated as the active part, need to be careful how to phrase it, as the active and acting part to the detriment of your toxic partner. A role reversal. This will be part of the smear campaign. And I've heard so many stories in my coaching practice and in my private life. Things I've heard about during times where I was the partner, about ex-partners, predecessors, if you will. Those men, in many cases, were illustrated, and the facts were different, as I found out in most cases, and in the other cases I simply didn't find out, which doesn't mean that it was or wasn't the case. I just didn't find out where I had the interest to do so. But the things that they were accused of during smear campaigns, those ex-partners, were beyond the verge of implying illegal actions and activities. Now imagine something like that being, I cannot be really specific here, but if something that amounts to painting you as someone doing something illegal. This can be damaging for relationships. This can be damaging for relationships with possible children, if any, and or for your business. So what narcissists, borderliners, toxic people who engage in that type of smear campaigning against you, what most of them don't really get and take a big risk by doing so, is that they risk, by falsely accusing you of something, that there will be immense legal backlash for them should you choose to do so. Keep in mind that it is likely that there will be a lot said and done, or said about you, what you've allegedly done or not done. And you might think, yeah, no worries. That no worries, ladies and gentlemen, depends entirely on the content of said things. So I encourage you to be ready and prepared and with open ears what the rumor mill grinds forth. And if it requires you to take action, and which kind of action with the legal system that should be. And number 4, what is betrayal and lying toward you, treason toward you? Psychological abuse. Only a betrayer and a traitor psychologically abuses you. And with these factors, these 4 plus cheating, those 5 in combination, in any combination, are likely to lead you into a state of trauma bonding toward to your to the narcissist or borderline or toxic person. And that trauma bond is an emotional dependence from the victim toward the perpetrator that happens over time, systematically, with emotional abuse. And that trauma bond makes it so difficult for many of you, and I was among you, with trauma, with intense trauma bonds to several people at several points of my life, that make it so difficult to cut ties and get out. The psychologist Dr. Tara Palmatier calls this difficulty to end a relationship fog, F-O-G, fear, your fear what happens if you leave. O, the obligation, your perceived obligation to, you should really stay, is what you think. And G, the guilt, the feeling of guilt, basically in both ways. You're guilty if you leave, you're guilty if you stay. So to conclude, ladies and gentlemen, narcissists, borderliners, toxic people of the like have loyalty to nobody but themselves. And when they feel betrayed or cheated on in whichever way, what follows is narcissistic rage. They are deeply disloyal people who live according to a huge double standard. Rules for thee, but none for me, as the saying goes. It is very important for you to get help, and get the help for whichever area where you cannot move forward. Get a psychologist, get a coach, get both for whichever areas they are experts in. If you want my help with something, feel free to reach out. In the description, you will find the email for your possible free session. And remember, that will go for most of you, ladies and gentlemen. You don't, in the person of your partner or your partner prospect, you probably don't want to have a metaphorical town bicycle that everyone can ride whenever they choose to. And be your own hero. Be your own heroine. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.